guys, Chad here from CNR Reviews. We've got a very neat gun today. I'm sure you, if you've been following our channel, you've seen us shoot this already and doing first impressions. This is the Kel-tec Sub2000. Now this is the second review that I've done of this gun, and we'll get to that in just a second. This is the 9mm version of it, and it also comes in a 40 Smith & Wesson version. Now the 9mm versions come in different magazine types. So you can get one that uses Glock mags, you can get one that uses Beretta 92 mags, you can get one that uses Smith & Wesson mags. This is the one that uses Glock mags. And the reason why I say, guys, this is the second review. The first review I did was at the range and it didn't really quite turn out, so we're here at our buddy's house who owns this weapon. And thanks a lot, Jerry, for letting us use the gun. We really appreciate it. If you guys have followed our channel, you guys know I hate Kel-tec. Ryan hates Kel-tec. We had a PF9 that we sent back for warranty because it broke. It still sucked when it came back. We vowed then we would never buy another Kel-tec product. They just are not up to the same caliber and quality as other guns. So when I heard that my buddy had a Sub2000 that he really loved, I really wanted to get out and try it. We had a chance to take it to the range, put a couple hundred rounds through the gun, and I will say the gun fed flawlessly. It ran really well. It's a very simple gun. You have the trigger, you have a safety here on top of the receiver, push in or out for safe. This is the bolt, and the bolt pulls to the rear, locks back, so it's actually underneath the buttstock, which is kind of a neat place. It doesn't really bother you, and I thought it was going to. To release it and load, once you have a mag in there, simply hit it down, loads the weapon, and it's got a great trigger. As far as sights go, you have a little fiber optic front sight. I know there's all kinds of aftermarket parts for these coming out. You also have different front ends that you can put on there, different fore ends, and that way you can add Picatinny reels to it. And I really recommend you putting something on the buttstock, because everybody who shot it the day that we took it out actually ended up with some nice little cuts and stuff, because Kel-tec's polymer, especially where you guys can see the seam there, the seam comes up in multiple areas and it's very sharp. It will get you. Kel-tec's polymer sucks ass as far as I'm concerned. Let's talk about what comes with the weapon. Now remember, this is the one that takes Glock mags, and so you would think that you could use a Glock 10-round magazine because it comes with a 10-round mag, and that is not the case. Kel-tec actually gives you a magazine that they made that holds 10 rounds, and then you could use a Glock 15-rounder, you can use a Glock 17-rounder, or 30, 33-rounder, whatever you have, and it'll function. You cannot use the Glock 10-rounder. I tried it in here. It does not fit all the way, so that's a no-go. So if you think that Kel-tec gave you a Glock mag, they didn't. They gave you their own version. Other than that, guys, let's talk about the quality of the gun. And then we're going to hit on price, and then we're going to talk at the very end about what I think and would I ever buy one. Now the quality of the weapon itself, the gun's very light, and I was actually very impressed with that. It does have a lot of polymer pieces, and then you have the steel barrel, and the buttstock is metal, or the buffer tube back here is metal. And the gun feels very solid in your hand. The one complaint I do have is the grip being plastic. It almost feels like I could squeeze this enough that I could break it. I don't know what the pressure you would need for that to be, and I don't want to try it out because it's not my gun. But it feels like I could break it if I squeezed it hard enough. So it's not the best quality plastic. Another complaint I will have is the seams everywhere. Kel-tec, again, your seams suck ass. You've got to do something better than what you produce. I know this is a cheap gun and it's inexpensive, but that doesn't give you an excuse for poor quality. You could easily file down those seams. You could do anything. I mean, hire somebody for $10 an hour that just files freaking seams all day or whatever you got to do, but it looks like shit. Other than that, you know what, the quality of it is not that bad. Let's talk about a real quick feature I forgot to actually touch on, though. Just taking the gun and actually putting it apart. The base of the trigger guard is actually movable. You can pull it down like so, and actually make the gun fold in half. I don't know if you guys can see that. So by pulling down the trigger guard, it actually unlocks the gun. You can fold it in half like so. And then to make it into a full carbine, there's a little trigger thing back here on the buttstock. You push it forward, and the gun comes down, and you're unfolded again, and you have a full-size carbine again. So, price-wise, guys, let's talk about price, because it's the most important part about buying one of these. On the market, this is the cheapest 9mm carbine that I could find. If you want another 9mm carbine, there's very few options out there. The ones that are out there are either a 9mm AR, you can get a Beretta CX4 9mm carbine. They're in the $700 range. They're very expensive. And I've seen these Kel-tec Sub2000s go from anywhere between $260 all the way up to $400. And I've even seen some of them go higher than that. But don't spend over $400 for these. A lot of times you can find these for less than $400 at a mom and pop shop. I know online there's a lot of dealers that are selling these for like $299. So consider maybe doing an FFL transfer and buying it online and having it transferred to your local dealer. And I would make sure you find out what the transfer fee is. A lot of times it's around $25 to $50. And if they're selling it for $500 or $450, that means you're going to walk out the door for $325 or $350, and that's a lot better. Let's go ahead and let's talk about whether or not I would buy this and the Kel-tec reputation, really. I know Ryan and I called out one of the biggest YouTube guys for the gun community. His name is Nothing Fancy. I'm sure if you're watching our videos, you've heard of him before. And we're a subscriber of his. We love his videos, and I think he does a great job. But I purchased the Kel-tec PF9 based upon his recommendation. I was so pissed with how poor the quality was that the gun broke. They fixed it, supposedly, using their warranty. The gun still malfunctioned after the warranty was used, and the gun was just a piece of shit. And I was really pissed because I had, based upon his recommendation and then seeing and hearing Chad, the rep from Kel-tec, BSing with him, we were really pissed. We were really hoping that Nothing Fancy would take another look at the PF9 because we were very disappointed on how well it did. Then the moment I put up the first impressions of this gun, I started getting emails and messages going, hey guys, I've had my Sub2000 in the shop 4 times and the gun is still malfunctioning. I had other guys send me things that go, hey, this gun is phenomenal, you guys are going to love it. So it sounds like it's the same story. Kel-tec has such poor quality control that sometimes you get a good one, and you know your chances of getting a lemon, well guess what, it's not really a lemon anymore. It's 50-50. You're either going to get a good one or you're going to get a piece of shit. I would be really hesitant of buying a Sub2000 used because there's a lot of guys out there that have trouble with them. So I'd really want to make sure that if you buy one of these used, you take it out and you shoot it first. If you're buying one from a dealer, I'd recommend that you use the warranty. Kel-tec does have a great warranty on their weapons, and they have great service. I recommend if you do have an issue with your Sub2000, you take it into your FFL dealer. They will get Kel-tec to pay the shipping both ways, and it won't cost you a dime for you to use their warranty. And you may have to send it in there a few times, guys, to get it to work. What's so neat, though, that I actually am really happy, and the reason why I bring up Nothing Fancy is in his latest viewer comment video, I believe it was actually a few weeks ago, it may have been at like the beginning of June, maybe the end of May, but he had a viewer comment video where he actually talked about Kel-tec and about how their quality control has been so poor lately, there's so many people having problems, he no longer recommends buying from Kel-tec until they get their crap together. And I'm just very happy that somebody big like that is finally coming out and saying it. It justifies what we've been saying. It kind of confirms it that, hey, there's some big issues. Maybe you did get a Kel-tec from a couple of years ago that's running okay, but even those guns, I've heard guys of having issues with failure to ejects, failure to fires, and if you think that's normal, you're wrong. Try out other guns. You'll see that the majority of these other guns don't have any issues. And usually if you run into one, the factory will fix it and it comes back fixed. Or the factory will do a full recall and they'll fix a whole bunch of them and you have an option of fixing it that way. Kel-tec is just really sucking right now, guys. So if you choose to buy one of these, beware that there's a good chance you're going to end up using that warranty service. Do not send it in yourself, because it's going to cost you a fortune to send it next day air, which is required by UPS for a firearm. It's going to cost you a fortune. Send it to your FFL dealer, or take it into them and make them mail it to Kel-tec for you. And Kel-tec will pay the shipping both ways for you. Other than that, guys, Sub2000, I think if you can get your hands on a good one, it's definitely worth taking a look at. You heard me, my only real complaints, guys, is the quality of the polymer. The metal seems fine. If the quality was better on the polymer, I would give this gun a 10 out of 10 and say, hey, definitely go buy it. If the reputation of Kel-tec was better, I would give this gun a 10 out of 10 and say go buy it. But for me personally, I'm actually too wary that I'd get a lemon or have an issue. And for me, I'm actually going to pass on the Sub2000. I will definitely take on my buddy Jerry if he ever wants to go shooting with us again with this gun, because it is a fun gun to shoot, guys. But just beware that you could have issues. If you have any questions regarding the Sub2000, feel free to ask, guys. Check out our shooting videos of it. Check out our channel. We have a ton of videos up, well over, actually we're getting close to 400 vids now. And we have a ton of comprehensive videos on pistols, on rifles, shotguns. And we really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and have a good day.